في معالي الأمور بوك خلاك حلاك امشي مشي والدور يبعد لك معاك هاجر عرفي عنك أقدم محمد ذاك ما هو ناقص منك وقداه يزيد لك هاجر عرفي
Hello, everybody. How loud was that? Was that loud? I should have turned it up a little bit. This is a music that I grabbed during my trip. That's why it's it's not copyright free, but I know it's not going to snag the system, and later on I can remove it if I have to. But later I did find out this woman did pass away a few years back, like in 2012 maybe, like a long time ago even. So I don't know, it's a famous song apparently. Anyways, let me get into this. There's a bunch of stuff I want to show you. Let's look at some maps. First of all, so hiding behind here are even more platforms that can help us take a look at the topography of the situation. But I should probably zoom out and show everybody where I am. I think people can identify that. Do you know how many countries there are in Africa? First of all, what's that doing there? Let's get rid of all these words. Yeah, I think I can show you. Let's just turn off everything. A few things on the map today. But before we do, I just want to look at this because I've been talking to the gentleman that shared these platforms with me, and his name is Jason Austin. And like I said, I met him with Jimmy at CPAC, and I guess they're friends, and he's definitely as interested in maps as I am. And he was sharing a map earlier today with me. Actually, he shared it on the Twitter. Now, but I did want to talk about what we're looking at here. Now, this map is kind of based on this, I think, might be the most original form of it. It's Ptolemy, the person who did it. Now, the confusion that I've always had was I wasn't sure if Ptolemy was a king or not. So I think it's important to talk about it at least once. And I teach myself. I did ChatGTP it and asked, was there a King Ptolemy? And he said, yes, there was. And there were several rulers named Ptolemy. By the way, I'm assuming that the P is silent. But I said, well, what about Claudius Ptolemy? Claudius was different. He was a map maker, a cartographer, a mathematician, astronomer, geographer, astrologer. And they didn't give him, ChatGTP failed to give him credit as a cartographer. Ptolemy's world map was very famous. Starting in 150? No, that's not right. Yes, that's correct. AD is what I'm wondering. Is it AD or is it actually BC? By the way, I wanted to take a quick look and see if we have any chatters going on. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, she's great. Thanks for the comment on the singer. I can't say her name. I don't know her name. Ptolemy's world map reconstituted from Ptolemy's Geography. I guess that's a publication, circa 150. Okay, now the reason why I brought that one up was because I wanted to look at this one. Because, you see these things and you don't know the difference. So this is a printed map from the 15th century depicting Ptolemy's description of a new word. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. It's in ancient Greece, ekumene. That's a U.S. word. Or okumene, denoted in the known inhabitable world. Okay, so what that really refers to is the known world. And I'm going to just pull the map up right here because I downloaded the highest resolution possible of this map. Okay, it's the known world, meaning beyond the Pillars of Hercules is unknown. Now, you will notice when you look at this map, we'll go back to Google Earth. There's a big difference between the Africa that's known. I could probably pop that over here, right? So we can look at it simultaneously. That would be great. Let's see if I can pop this one right over here. Kind of like that. So as you can see, we're going to zoom in. Obviously, you can see the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. There is some kind of weird stuff going on here with India. So, you kind of have to understand there's a lot of unknowns. I think the bigger deal is the unknown Africa. As we can see, Africa doesn't look like that at all, especially the west coast. In fact, I always know it's a Ptolemy-based map by this corner here when they put it right up to the Pillars of Hercules. And you can see that word, Hercule, okay, Hercule. And there's two eyes, maybe denoting two pillars, huh? But we can talk about this because Jason brought it up to me when he was talking about this structure that could be where the Richat is. And of course, the Eye of Africa is right there in Mauritania. I was there just a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 now. Time flies, right? But what we're really looking at, obviously, one of the things that people mix up for something. Now, I'm not saying Jason's wrong. I do believe he's correct. But, I won't even talk about what he said. But when we look at let's take a look at the coast. You see islands up here. You see islands down there. This cluster is obviously the ones. And by the way, look at that point, that cape. It's almost as good as the real thing, right? And there's the Cape Verde Islands over there. But we're talking about how to figure out where we are on these ancient maps. Now, there's a couple of things that you can talk about. First of all, we see Cape Verde. Okay, Capo Blanco is up here. And that's Point Timorous. Now, there are a lot of names for these things in Arabic as well. So we have to look at this up here and figure out where we're at. Now, I can tell you what's what. First of all, the Senegal River, and I saw this as a comment to one of Jimmy's Twitter feeds. He showed a different map, but the same thing was, that could be the Senegal River. Okay, Senegal River is here. And you have the Cape Verde point, Cape Green. No, I'm just joking. So that's the Senegal River. Now, often you see one on both sides, and they show them coming together. Now, I don't know how true that is in real life, but do these rivers come together? I don't know if I can prove they do at this time, but I know that that's the Senegal River, and that's the border of Mauritania and Senegal. How many countries are there in Africa? There are 54 countries in Africa. So if you can name them all, you would impress me. I'm pretty sure that I cannot name them all. Maybe after a long thought, I might come up with 95% of them. But there's those few that are just so tiny and so hard to remember the exact name. Okay, so as you can see, people are wondering if this is the Richat structure, right? Obviously. Now, I'm actually not sure if that's what Jason was referring to when he mentioned this to me, but he may have been referring to this one because he mentioned a river going straight up into the south part of it. I'm not sure if he was referring to this. Now, this structure, you ask yourself, is that the Senegal River? According to this map, it's not. Now, of course, we don't know any water lakes out in the middle of here. We do know the Maghreb Sea was about here, a very giant Maghreb Sea. Tamanrasset Mountain is here. The Tamanrasset River flowed through here. Oh, you know what? I didn't check my my microphone. How's my sound? Oh, you know what? I didn't. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I was like, I wasn't paying attention to anything. Sometimes I make that mistake. Okay, so let's just say that that's clearly Cape Verde, and that's the Senegal River right there. So now we're moving on to what are these rivers right here. Now, I can talk about that all day long. We do know that the ancient Paleo Tamanrasset River came right out, and there is a mound of shoal of mud, as Plato described. Now, I did get a shot of that from the airplane in this last trip, and it was fast, and I think I didn't even look at the picture because I saw it, and we were moving, and I started taking pictures, and I don't even know where that picture is right now. It's on my phone. Okay, but that has to be one of these, right? One of these is the ancient Paleo Tamanrasset for sure. Let's talk about these red lines. Now, the one down here is clearly the equator. Of course, if you don't know Africa, Equatorial Guinea. Now, I don't know where it is without the lines. I'm not that good, but it's right about here. Equatorial Guinea is not on the equator. So the Equatorial Guinea, let's just... how do I get them? Let's just look at the exploration and get in there. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's south of there in Gabon. Equatorial Guinea is not even on the equator. Don't get tricked. If it's above here in Cameroon, then I'm not remembering very well. I believe it's down here. But that being said, sorry, I have a dry mouth. That being said, the Ptolemy map totally dropped the ball on the curvature of Africa at that point, right? I mean, showing Senegal here, we can see that they knew that it went under there. We have that starting here, but then it definitely, okay, so maybe that's that, right? They do have some rivers, but down here, I mean, there must be something that tricked him into thinking there was a big old jump or a gap or whatever. I mean, they do have a lot of interior stuff in Africa. Look at the Nile River and the way that's depicted here. Okay, now Ptolemy, by the way, I didn't say that. I should have. Was a Roman. Did I close that? Ptolemy, here it is. I didn't talk about the person much. Where is that? Ptolemy is where? Okay, Ptolemy's book Geography. So actually, I should have read that before I navigated away. There he is. Okay, so it says here, is a map of the world known to Greco-Roman societies in the 2nd century. Okay, now did I need to show you that thing I grabbed? There's something else. I think I'll save it for a future video. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just mention it's based on the description contained in Ptolemy's book. Okay, so now I'm learning something, right? Now I'm learning something. Just like Herodotus's map, which we've already knew he didn't draw. He wrote, and the map is based on what he wrote. Just like that, the Ptolemy world map, I guess, is based on Ptolemy's book Geography, written in 150. That's AD, after death, right? Which, if you put the 33 years in, that's of course, that's 188. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so now the book Geography talks about the known world, and that's what I got from down here. But let's talk about who he was. He wasn't a king. So when you hear about King Ptolemy dying or having an effect, it's not him. It's some other historical reference. I'm going to get to the topography very quickly. I just want to finish this Ptolemy info. because we want to know where is this information coming from when we look at these ancient maps. So this is a man. Let me just go over his stats. Born 100 AD, right? So we were definitely, he did it in, what was the year? 100 and what? 50? When he was 50 years old. He died 170 AD. So he lived for 200 years after that book was written. I'm sure he probably saw the map. We have known for the Ptolemaic universe, a drawing, or is that a description that a drawing was based on? So now I don't know, and I don't really want to spend time on that. Diatonic scales, all sorts of stuff. The quadrant, the equant, the evection, and yeah, I love Wikipedia, right? Okay, it's probably more accurate than ChatGPT. This map here, which I want to look at again, is a printed map from the 15th century. Okay, so it's based on the Ptolemy map from 150, but it was, it even has a name here, Johannes Schnitzer, 1482. It's dated. This map is dated. I even saw, and I think I closed the window, they were selling it for $1,000. Like more than 1,000. So it must have been super high res. Okay, where's my version of it? Right here? Is that it? Okay, there it is. All right. So as we look at this map, you're seeing a lot of rivers in Africa for sure. And most of these rivers probably really did exist, in my opinion. This map was used, if you do a little research, one moment. Okay, I've got 11 watching now. Sorry, I getting a little verklempt. Let me do a quick listen and check because things seem stalled up. Thank you for the thumbs up. And thank you for 14 people watching now. Please leave your comment if you have any questions. We can talk about the coast of Africa real quick and match it up with these little bumps. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the ancient Paleo River, Tamanrasset, came out right here. But I have always thought that this cut here, 30 miles of straight line, that is a straight line. And when you look at it on the topography map, we're going to look at that in a second, you're going to realize that that's really straight. And in my opinion, if any of these were carved canals, that's one of them. And as you can see, lots of erosion since then, right? So obviously, they probably could have gone around this way. So maybe that's a new breach. I think that this was an ancient shoreline. That was an ancient shoreline. Still don't know how water got here to create that shoreline. But then we've got this long 200-mile ancient shoreline with our playa basins. It's obvious that there was a big old body of water here. We can talk more about that on another time, but I'm trying to mention that I believe there was a second river coming out right here probably. In fact, when I first started looking at this, this was my first place because of the way it looks right there. It looks like, now we do have to recall, sorry, not recall, we do have to remember one other thing. This is the actual ancient shoreline out here before the floodwaters rose, the actual melting ice sheets. There were 3 of them, right? Probably 13,000 years ago. Raised the water about 400 feet, was it? Or was it 400 meters? Probably feet. And so I always forget those numbers. And you can even see these dots here in the map. That was probably the exit of the ancient Tamanrasset Paleo River right here. So it came about out here somewhere, and it actually left the continent into the ocean right about there. Now, that would be a glitch, but I am seeing this here, and that makes me think maybe that's where the other river came out. And we see 2 of them, right? We see one here as well. So one there, one there. And when I say that, that's a crevice in the ancient shoreline. There's also a couple dots that seem to be right there. In my opinion, that represents a river exit. Now, I'm not really that good, but look at the Senegal River. Senegal River, you also have that little cut through, right? Now, this is an active river right now. I don't even know where it comes out. But years ago, when the shoreline was there, you can see that little crevice created by water. Look, there's a crevice there. You can see these dots here. Now, I do mention there are some interesting lines here. I don't know if there was a river coming out here. I don't see any sign of it. Is that a big river right there? I don't think so. But I think that that could be a scar of the movement, the tectonic movement of this stuff. I believe that this little point is a really hard rock. And when it came from, if you, whether or not you believe in the expanding Earth theory or just regular tectonics moving this way, I do believe you can identify where the Senegal started from by this mid-Atlantic trench. If you look at the mid-Atlantic trench, you can see looks like Point Blanco over in Africa. This looks like Timorous, and that's the little place. You can almost follow the line, but it gets buried to over here. Now, when you follow Cape Verde, you kind of get in the way of these islands, right? So you don't have such a perfect thing. But I believe that these rocks, whatever these were, created this scar from like right here, and created this scar because it was dragging a big old chunk of rock that is still there today. Now, some people say that Cape Verde Islands was created by this same thing. I don't know about all that. Okay, so what I do know, though, is that there was probably a river that came here, and you can see a bunch of these scars. One is here, one is here. There's something going on there. Now, here, I don't believe there was much. You have the same thing. You have a point, right? Just like Capo Blanco or Capo Verde. This one is called Capo Blanco. This one is called Capo Timorous. Now, these are the Greek maps. I'm referencing the Spanish maps from the 1500s. This is showing words in Latin, I believe, over here. But I do believe, okay, now I did mention that's the equator, but I forgot to mention that this would be the, what? Oh, the first person to type it. Hey, Mumbo Gumby, thank you. And Brandon Watkins, thank you very much. Tropic of Cancer, right? The Tropic of Cancer is where the shadow can still disappear, if I'm mistaken, during the summer or winter solstice, probably summer. Not sure, though, because I just know that this is as far north as it goes before the shadows start to bend. What it is it's the Tropic of Cancer is mappable because everybody knows it's 23.5 degrees, approximately, right? Now, I actually wanted to chat GPT that number, 23.5, but that is the tilt of the Earth, and that is why we have our seasons, and then we have our tropics. Our Tropic of Cancer on a map is here. The sun goes up to here during, I guess, the solstice, and it goes down to the Capricorn during the winter. And so you have your high noon at the Tropic of Cancer during the summer solstice. There's no shadows, okay? If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat, please. Thank you. All right, but what I do know is that Tropic of Cancer is actually right here. Now, I know it kind of looks a little phallic, but it reminds me of that thing at the back of your throat, and I think it's gross. I hate that little peninsula, but I do know that that's where the Tropic of Cancer is. So down here, Cape Blanco, or they all have Arabic names now, so I don't know the Arabic names to this peninsula or this point, or I used to call it the Hook, but I did know that a river came out of here. And it's funny because you don't see a lot of these little crevices here, but what you do see is this big old chunk and two little points. I mean, what created those? Is that like volcanic, or is that really strong? As Graham Hancock says, we need to be searching out here, looking, and probably using high tech to survey these areas right here, and maybe a little bit off, but probably right here. I mean, at least find big stuff. Like, I believe that Atlantis was blown up, and that this is the crater that blew it up. So I don't think there's a lot of stuff that was washed away in tsunamis. Okay, let's get on to the topography stuff. But this right now, let me just go back over here. Sorry about that. I did want to finish my thought. I can't turn these or rotate them, so unfortunately, Senegal is clearly right there. And we do have a river down below it. So these rivers are documented. Now, if this is 23.5, so that's 20. This is, or is it 15? And this is 10, and this is 5. You know what? I don't do a lot with these lines. I haven't really done the research, but I look at the coast. We're looking at points and enclaves. So we've got this big one right here. That's the biggest point, except for Senegal, right? Now, if you look between that, this is the Tropic of Cancer, and they have that on there. I don't know if there's a point under there or a name. But as you go down from here to this point, we have 3 rivers coming out. That's interesting. But this is the Atlas Mountains. So if water is going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from these mountains here. Now, we do have these islands up here. These are probably the, obviously, what are they called? Nobody's typing. Nobody helps. Thanks for the thumbs up, though. Not the Cape Verde Islands, but the, see, I'm just forgetting. I'm just outright forgetting. And I was just there, by the way. I didn't count it as a country. I can't count it as a country because my friend, he lives there. So that didn't help. That didn't help at all. Okay, so Canary Islands, that's the name of these in English, but they're called Gran Canaria in Espanol. What? Audio issues? Give me a 2 if you're not hearing this clearly. I don't think there's audio. It's streaming issues, Richard. Thank you for the comment. It's streaming issues. And by the way, I can see it is probably a streaming issue because I've been running the video and it's lagging. So let me take a quick look and see what the OBS says. OBS says I'm green. OBS has a green light. Says I'm good to go. The other thing is to check the... but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to just shut this down unless I don't have any audio at all. It all gets cleaned up after processing. That's all I can tell you. And so if this really frustrates you, go ahead and shut it down and come back once it's processed. Because, yeah, there is some problem. Sorry about that, Richard. And I will be cutting out any major glitches once the video is processed. So it might be more pleasurable to listen to as well. Okay. Let's just get into it again. So there's where the Canary Islands are up there. Although the Canary Islands here, yeah, that's about the same, right? And you have a long line of these 2 islands. And by the way, maybe there was an island here that got buried when the water levels rose, right? Or maybe there was this cataclysm that destroyed these islands. And I never have said that I don't believe these islands weren't part of the global society that I believe was the earlier Atlantis. But in the end, when we talk about what had a disaster to destroy Atlantis, first of all, I don't believe that the Azores Islands, and there are islands here, right, was Atlantis due to size, due to the fact there was no elephants, no big animals like Plato described, no gold, no minerals like Plato described. Give me a 1 if the audio is okay now. Give me a 2 if you're still having lag issues. I think he already navigated away. Okay. All right. I still want to mention some more things about this map. This little enclave could have been this enclave, right? So we don't have any enclaves above this little hook, right? We have this little tiny one. Maybe that's that one right there. And yeah, was there a river coming in? Well, one thing we do know by looking out here, we don't see any river. Maybe we see one here, but that's the hook. That's the Tropic of Cancer right there. And it's called Dakhia. La Guerra, I'm not even sure where that name comes from. That I used to call Capo Blanco or the Hook, or it's Cape White. No, I never said that. Now, there's a big national park there, and we have the shoal of mud. Now, in a lot of these ancient maps, you can see that little shoal of mud right there. In my opinion, some people disagree. But what we can see here is the biggest point is that one, and there it is there. So that must be the Taman Rasset. We have one down here. I believe that's the lower one. So maybe this is the hook. Maybe this is Punto Blanco right here. And that shows 2 rivers going there. So maybe the Taman Rasset was here and also had one here, or probably on the other side. It's a good question, and I can't say. But my final point about this whole map is this structure here and the water. Now, the only mountain in that whole area is here. And was there water in there? It doesn't show an island. It shows something in there, right? But you have this. I do believe canals came from this side. I think I can demonstrate that. I can show you these dried up canals right here. So I know where everything is. Audio a bit low. Let me double check my let me see here. I am not in the red, but I'm going to just turn it all the way up. It is all the way up. Let me see over here if I can change the settings here. It says microphone privacy settings. I don't really care about the privacy. I want to just check the microphone input. Privacy and security microphone. Okay, let's try something else. Let me just make sure my microphone's turned all the way up. I'm going to do a little gain there. I can also just talk right into the mic. Let me just do that because rather than change all the settings, I'll just put my mouth closer to the mic. Another thing that might be the problem is the angle of the mic. I think I'm going to go ahead and change that right now. I had angled it incorrectly. So I'm changing that. Now, last time I touched the mic, it all went off, so I need to reconfirm on the sound. At this point, just let me know if the audio is still going at all. Well, actually, I could just do this for that, right? But I'm not live anymore, so I got to turn on the video. I'm sorry, what I meant was never mind. I'm talking to myself. Are we going to hear myself? Okay, good. I'm on. All right, audio a bit low. I'll try to talk louder. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's that canal. I believe that canal brought water from the Taman Resset. Now, with all those rivers, you know that rivers normally have a lot of tertiary and what's the other one? Tertiary what's that? Is that the word that means it doesn't touch the ocean, or is it that a secondary that doesn't also touch the ocean? Maybe a tertiary doesn't touch one that touches the ocean. Okay, anyways, we got a lot of rivers, and if you look at the way water it goes through this whole area, I can tell you that the Wadan River, this one right here, flows into the Richat through this mouth. And by the way, we won't even get into that today. I'm going to keep this open, but I'm done with this map, I think. I promised you other things. I'm done with the Ptolemy talk and the map. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about on this map, but you can download it. Ptolemy world map. This is it says it was based on his book. When you zoom into that, you don't see all that other stuff. Okay, so that map done in the 1482 is a lot different. So we have to talk about this. Somebody was combining the maps. Somebody was combining info. But when we look at this, yeah, we can say that's probably Cape Verde. And up here, well, we have what shows a river that says the Niger River, the river that goes to Niger. Now, we have the Senegal River, but it doesn't even show the entry points on both sides of that. So they had a lot of interior, and they called it Libya. Ethiopia was modern day Mauritania compared to where Roman Mauritania was up here in Morocco. And then Ethiopia was over down here. Like, I don't know, it was in the interior. It was below Libya. It was like right down here. But, and this just says Africa right here. So I don't know if the word Africa, what that even meant at the time, but I think that they were calling this area Libya. Okay, anyways, that's still Ptolemy talk. Okay, let's talk about these things. The one that he actually, that's Jason Austin, gave me today was this splittable Sentinel-2 map. So I thought I'd look at this place in Mali. Okay, I guess I can close that because I have Google Earth open here with the same spot ready to go. I did do a little bit of preparation. Just a little. And I wanted to show the Sentinel-2 map because you could look at this stuff and you can compare the changes. Now, the latest they've got here is 2022, but you can compare that to 2016, and you can go up a little bit each time, and then you can kind of slide back and forth, and you can even zoom in. And I thought that was pretty cool. If you know me, you know I don't believe these lines were made by nature at all. And I have some theories about all that, but what we could do is we can look at them on the ground, these lines, and the one I want to show you, I think it's over here. Oh, this is the other topography map from Cal Topo. And I've got the shaded relief going, and I'm just going to go ahead and not put any modern day. Where's the other thing that you can put in here is the maps, the global imagery. You can do that. See, now I just got rid of, and you can actually add the other one, but I don't think I want to do that with this map right now. I just want to keep it pure shaded imagery, okay? Because I want to look at this stuff and these lines. Now, when you look at these pictures up close, and the place I really wanted to look at, let's see, this is, I guess I can go really big for a second, but we're going to have to get back to the split screen. You can see these things. Okay, we don't want to look there. Let me zoom in just a little. What's this one? That's the city that's nearby. This is pretty close to Timbuktu. Now, that's not where I want to be. I want to actually be up here. And the place I was at was this thing. I was looking at this because 3 pictures popped up. Now, it's always possible that the person that posted the picture didn't get the picture from where... they didn't get the picture on the map from where they really took it, right? But look at this. Here you see lines of mountains, and that is a tree. So this one's only not even 100 feet, right? I mean, what do you think that is? 20 feet? That the tree is 20, 25, 30 feet maybe. Maybe we could say 20. So maybe that mountain is 40. That's a hill. It's not even a mountain. And this picture is being taken from one of these things. So we get a little up close look at this material. What is this material? Now, usually when a mountain is created and then it deteriorates over time, you have a certain form of weathering. This doesn't look like that to me. It looks like piles of rocks. I was going to look at this one too. And look at this one from down here, ground level, looking up, and you can see how in mainstream explanation says that this was a big, huge rock that broke up over time, weathered. That's the mainstream implication here. But in my opinion, okay, that was seen. Let me just, where's the third one that we didn't see yet? Okay, here's another one. And look how skinny this little line here is. And think about what natural geological processes would have had to have happened to make those. Now, down here you can see some structures built with stone, creating geometric patterns, right? But I do believe that Mumbo Gumby, Taiwan Taichung, I guess I know who you are, actually. Thanks for mentioning the audio. But did I tell you I don't trust you? No, okay. Mr. A. All right. Yeah, look at that little structure right there. So when you see these lines and you say, oh, those are mountains, well, you have to know exactly what you're looking at. So I thought we would look at the topography map of these same locations. So this is really convenient. And I'm just going here because I wanted to look. And it's, by the way, don't get your hopes up. It's not that great. But if we right click on this and we look at get info, we can copy the location and we can put it right over here in this other one. And you got to hit the enter. I don't know how to use enter on your thing. So there we are. So that's that. It's not very good, but we can really see what's going on here. Now, let's go over to the Richat structure and see what we were looking at earlier. I didn't mention that I was going to show you. In fact, I think I'll just move this away for now and maximize this. That wasn't maximizing. Let's try that again. And when we get over here, I mean, look at how straight that line is. I told you that's 30 miles long. I was just here. There's a fort named Fort Sagan that's fake. It's not the first. I don't want to show you here. I can show you over here. Let me put this in together now. So we'll kind of zoom out. Yeah, Fort Sagan. Beautiful fort, very nice spot, but now we know. Sorry, clearing my throat. There it is right there. There it is right there. Now we know it was built in 1984 for a movie. And that's not going to show. That's not the. Oh, it's clearing up. Good. Yeah, that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So right now, there's a fence in front of that. I don't trust that. I wouldn't even walk under that. When I had to walk under that to get inside. I'm going to show those videos in a later date. Let's turn off the photos for now. Well, we're going to turn them back on. So I did get a chance to go through this whole area. There we go. Now we're going to see some nice shots of it. You can see the fence there. That's not... There it is there. They're apparently fixing it. I think what happened was somebody bought the land and built that on there. And they built it for this movie. And I need to watch the movie. I almost did the other day. That's got the fence. So this is quite recent. Where is that tent? Where's the arch? The arch is right here. I don't know where the arch is. It's right there. It has to be right there. Okay, anyways, it's not even old. It's not even old. But I did go there, and there's a few other things around here. There's some people living in these mountains here. And there's also some petroglyphs over here. Oh, right there. These stones that fell, there's some petroglyphs there. So, but it goes right through this ancient cut. And when I was there, the guy right here, he said this little road here, this road, you can follow it. This was like the road, the ancient trading route. And why that was it, when you can certainly go around, right? You can clearly go around. So this thing goes along this edge, and there's a cliff right there. And then it kind of shows, it goes in here, it empties over here, and now you can go down there. Probably go this way. If you're going to Adrar, you want to go down this little crevice. And you're still not even there yet. You're still not there. Where's the crevice? Where's Adrar? See, this road here is probably where it would meet up, because that goes to Adrar right there. All right, where was I? I wanted to make a few more points. The Sentinel map. Let's forget this. I mean, I have more to talk about, but I've already been talking for a good 40 minutes, and I do believe it's important to kind of focus on the main goal. Okay, so we have, this is with a global imagery added and not 100% opaque. So you can kind of see a mixture of both. We can use that. This is in Mali, where I showed you earlier, these lines that are just going straight. I believe that those aren't even mountains, that these are literally overburden dumping lines from mine tailings. And just watching a video on it, and the way those rocks are, in the photos are all ground up, it means that they already ground this stuff up. They're dumping it. They're dumping lines of this stuff. Now, back to the Richat structure. There was something I promised to show you, and then I'm pretty much done. What was I going to show you? So many things. Topographical Richat. What was I going to show you? Nobody's commenting, and nobody's thumbs upping. And certainly nobody's super chatting. Mumbo Gumby, come on, shoot me a super chat. Don't be shy. I know you're still there. Okay, well, I guess what I can say is that this is the Cal Topo. I've shown it in a previous video. I just went here. You can't see the crevices in the middle. You have to put the global imagery on top of it. I guess what I'll do is I'll finish up with the old mountain builders talk, since it's the latest part of the video. When we go back over to Mali and we look at these circular dikes, not there, that's not it, right over here. Now we have some over here too. This is Niger, and you can see what I call this the upside down Homer Simpson. He's got a little mouth and little eyes and a big head. He's also got these growths, or these circles. I'm at the point where I believe that these were created. And the reason why is now because when you look at it through the topography software, you start to see the lines and the machining and the working. I know so many people are going to say that's natural. But look, I've seen enough to know I can't unsee other things to know that that might not be natural. Now, these are big, huge circles, right? If we measure that, let's just go to quick distance. That is 23 miles. So I do understand. How do I get rid of that now? Okay, 23 miles of that big one. I mean, that's a lot of content. That's a lot of stuff. When is, Brian? When is? I think what we need to do is we need to set up a trust. First of all, the dig off the coast of Africa, I don't think it's going to be a dig. Thank you for your comments. I'll go ahead and show the comments. We've got, well, then they disappear. Okay, never mind. Trust me, I have comments from live stream commenters. So anyways, he was mentioning that when is somebody going to dig off the coast of Africa? Let's take a quick look at the coast. Fumble. Okay, as you can see, we have the ancient coast visible, and then we have the lower stuff. Hey, Stig TP, how you doing? It's always interesting when someone has my same name. I think what that, well, anyways. Nice to see you, TP. I don't know what the TP stands for, but you're not going to just start digging, right? You've got still 400 meters of ocean you're going to have to scuba dive. So I think what you're doing is a survey. You're going to survey the coast. We have had people surveying for a while, right? So, I'm not going to get too far involved in that conversation. I'm too busy looking at Homer Simpson's little face and then looking at it here and looking at the lines that just don't make any natural geologic sense. For example, this little smile, Homer's smile, right? It's upside down. We've got these what's called circular dikes. I mean, the thing is that now, because I'm looking at these over here more and closer, and I did just post this to my Facebook page too. It takes time to get back. Where's my circle? Is that it? So you see one here, right? This is also a circular dike, obviously, but that's mainstream. And the question I have is, what are all these micro volcanic dikes leading up to it? This isn't like I learned geography. I did take geography in junior college. And then when we've got these straight lines, when I say straight lines, I mean dike. For example, volcanic dikes that are all just like over and over again. We can find some more in the Sahara Desert. Where am I? I got lost. Where are we? Okay, that doesn't help. We'll zoom out so we can kind of get back to... Because the global imagery I want to look at, it actually helps me find stuff. But the problem is that the global imagery also takes a long time to load. Okay, now what I'm looking at next is right over here. Okay, it's below this little... This is a very interesting curve to me. Now, I call this mountain the Englishman. It's in Chad down here. We also have a bunch. And now that the global imagery's popped up, I can find what I want to show you. See, it hasn't even... And I don't even care because I don't really want to show you the global imagery. I want to show you the topography. Let's move back here with this and just do it this way now because it's faster. I gotta... Well, maybe not. Okay, I do get a little lost. I need that global imagery. I think it's right here, but it's too slow now. You know what? I'm probably going to cut this short because it's getting a little laggy, and I've already spoken for 50 minutes. I usually want to cut it off at 30 minutes, but this is the life, right? I do have something I need to do outside. I've got like 2 more hours of daylight, so I think I'm going to go do that next. But where are we? Okay, there it is there. So as we zoom in here, I can usually just find it here on Google Earth much faster. So I'm just going to go there. I'm tired of that topography thing. And I'm talking about down here, right here, at the edge of the on the eastern side of Chad. The eastern side of Chad. Still, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. It's driving me crazy. And that's why I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to encourage you to just do it on your own and find this new. Thank you, Jason Austin, for the CalTopo topography map that I am addicted to now. I just can't stop using it. But it seems to be slow and lagging, and so I think I am going to stop using it. Unfortunately, more comments. Last chance for comments. I see it. Somebody's tapping the heart button. That's cool. Thank you if you're still here, Tammy and Mumbo Gumby and Brandon Watkins and Richard Wilson. I got 12 watching now. Brian Mocha, Stig TP. Thank you for your comments. This is actually really good stuff. Check it out for yourself. Just open up here. Make sure you choose shaded relief. This has the global imagery added with, it's not opaque, right? So, let me just give it one more try here and see if we can. Oh, look, that kind of helps it be faster. And then what I can do is when it shows up, I can unopaque it. Oh, Mumbo Gumby, you make me so happy. Make me so happy. Oh, Taichung. Haven't been there in a while. I wonder when the next time I'm going to go to Taichung is. All right, guys, I'm out. Thank you so much. Have a good one. You're lucky I have my microphone muted. Hold on, I gotta type something. Okay, hold on. No, I'm still on, but I muted my microphone.
No, I just heard you through the internet. Through the YouTube.
Well, I'll see if you can prove that. If you can still hear. Oh yeah, I am still unmuted. You're right. Bye, folks. Ha 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 ha.